Hi, and welcome to day 10 of my 12 days of Christmas. I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you knit with all those needles in your hand? So I thought I would give you a quick tutorial on how to use double-pointed needles. They're really easy, and if you knit at all, once you see how I do this, you're going to be able to do it as well. Now I have some chunky yarn here, or it's called chunky yarn. I love this color. I've been wanting to do something with it for a while. So I have the yarn, and then these are a size 10.5 bamboo needle, double pointed, meaning there's two ends to it. Okay, I have 4 of them here. And so the first thing you're going to see me do is I'm just going to use the long tail cast on. I'm going to cast on enough to make a hat, a little beanie hat. All right. So you just make a loop with a slip knot. You see? And then I just take one of the needles and put it through there and pull it tight enough so that it still slides on the needle, because you need it to be able to move. You don't want it so tight that you can't knit, but loose enough that it'll slide. And if you let the needle do the work, then you'll have the right size stitches. All right. Now, coming down from that loop are 2 strands of yarn. This is the working strand because it is attached to the skein. This is the tail, this piece here. So I'm going to take my finger and thumb, my forefinger, and stick it between the 2 yarns. So you put your fingers through there, your finger and your thumb, and then you kind of pull it down like this. And I'm going to cast on 1, and you just, this is the cast on. So you go under, over, pull through. Okay. I'm sure there's a ton of videos out there that show you how to do this cast on, probably better than I will. But these videos that I'm doing are for people that I know and friends, and so I want to be sure that I can answer their questions, so that's what I'm doing. Now, I'm not the best knitter in the world. There are some pretty amazing knitters out there, but I'm good enough, and I like using double points better than 2 circular needles for certain things. And I could still use circular needles to do this as well, and I could show you how to do that if you're interested. I'll just have to pick a different project. So, all right. And I'm probably going to need about 72. So we'll just fast forward this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Actually, I think I'm going to do 80 stitches. That should give me enough. That's 20 per needle. So, all right, let me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, see how it's starting to get too many on one needle? So let me unravel some more yarn here. So what I do is I take that second needle, and I'm just going to go to where I started back here, not where the working yarn is, but back here, and I'm going to put 20 stitches onto this needle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, this is 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So I'm going to add another 20 to this needle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to take 20 off, put them onto this needle. Now, I may find as I go along here that my needles are full and I don't need to do as many cast-on stitches because I have a, normal, well, fairly normal size head. I'm working on a hat for someone with a very small head, 21 inches, whereas my kids range from about 23 to 25 inch heads. 25 is big, but it's not too bad. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, okay, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. All right, so I'm gonna look at this real quick just to see, because yeah, I definitely need more stitches than that. My head's not quite that small. Another thing you want to do when you have your double points is you want to make sure that they're not twisted. Like, you don't want to get this part twisted here. I don't know if you can see that. You don't want this to get twisted. You want to make sure that everything is going the same way in a circle. So you want to have all of the back side or the underside of your stitches facing in toward the center of my paper here. So they're all facing in. Now I'm going to cast on the last 20, because I think that's going to be more than enough. So I have 60 now. I'll do this slow again. 7, 8, pull through and pull. 9, 10. Actually, 70 might be enough. Look at this. Nah, I'll go for it. Now I want it to be an even number because I'm going to show you how to do the ribbing. Okay, if I'm gonna move 5 off of here. So each needle right now is gonna have 25. 1, 2, 3. So there's 25 on that one. I should have 15 on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. All right, let me just count these again. I'm just making sure everything's going the same way again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So right now we have 76 stitches. Okay. All right. 77, 78, 79, 80. You can use a stitch marker. I like to use scrap pieces of yarn because I can use a lighter color and I can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to tie this in a knot. I'm going to put it here, tie it down to my needle, and you will see why in a moment. Alright, so the first couple stitches I'm going to stitch onto this needle that I've been casting on with. And I'm doing a rib stitch for the brim. So a rib stitch, now again, here I'm making sure that all the back side of my stitches are in the center there. To do the rib stitch, I'm going to knit 2, purl 2. So if you know how to knit already, sorry I'm taking it out of screen. If you know how to knit already, you will be able to do this pretty easily. So knit 2. You want to keep it fairly tight. Purl 2. Now the purl ones I'm going to start on my next needle. All you're doing when you're using multiple double points is using 2 of them to hold the other stitches while you knit. Now, the thing you have to be careful of is you don't want anything coming off the ends while you're knitting. That would be bad. So I'm just going to knit 2 and purl 2. And I am knitting with both the tail and the working yarn at the moment because that helps me weave it in a little bit. Now I'm just going to go to the working yarn and we'll continue. Let's see, that was purl, so knit 2. Purl 2. So we'll speed up the video while I work a few rows of this so that you can just see how easy it is to work with the double pointed needles. I find it very relaxing. My husband has been wondering how the heck I do this as well. Now when you're talking or you're doing something else and you can't remember what you've done, you can look back, and I don't know if it'll focus for you, but right here you can see these 2 were purled, these 2 were knit, and this one was purled. So you go, oh, I have one more purl to do, so I'm going to purl this one. Alright, now we can speed up the tape for you. I like to keep my knits and purls together on a needle, so I'm going to knit my last one there and then go back to using the open needle to take stitches off. we're back at the beginning now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this right here, slip it back to the other side. This is just where it shows me where the beginning is, so that if I'm going to do any special stitches inside the hat, if I'm going to, be doing anything in particular with this, I'll be able to know exactly where the beginning of the round is. So now I'm just going to keep going like this. And I'm just going to keep doing the knit 2, purl 2. So we'll just come back in a few minutes, so you don't have to watch me do this because it can be kind of boring. And then we can show you what the next step is. Okay, a couple things I forgot to mention that I'm going to mention while I'm finishing up this round. When you're doing the rib stitch, you always want to make sure that you have an even number cast on your needles and that you end with the purl stitches. That way you always have the knit, knit, purl, purl thing going on, and you don't have to worry about having a problem at the end of your first round. Now, what I've done here is I've knit a few rounds. As you can see, it's gotten bigger, and this is all in the knit stitch. Now, you could knit the entire hat in a ribbed stitch. It'll look fine. It'll fit a variety of heads because it'll be more elastic. The rib stitch gives it more stretch. As you can see down here, it's very stretchy. So that's the great thing about the rib stitch. A lot of beanies that you might purchase in a store are just straight rib stitched on machines, and that's why they're able to fit a variety of heads. For me, hadn't really decided how I wanted this hat to be, so I'm just going to finish this round, and I think I am just going to knit the rest of the hat. That makes it really easy on double point needles. You just do the exact same thing all the way around for the rest of the hat till you get to the point where you need to decrease stitches for the dome of the hat. So here I am here. Seriously, now all you're going to do with your double points is you are going to knit. So you're going to make sure the yarn's in the right spot. Keep this here because I'm going to keep this here even though I'm just going to knit all the way around because I want to be able to know where my decreases are going to come in. And all you do is knit every single stitch from here on out. And that will give you the basics for your hat. You'll have a nice rib stitch for the brim, and then the hat will be knitted, and then you'll do your decreases, and then you'll wear it, and you'll be all done. And this way, you don't have to worry about purl stitches anymore. You don't have to worry about anything fancy. Now, if you wanted to add a cable into this, you could do that, kind of design your own hat. But for me, for ease and for quickness, because I want to be able to wear this week, I'm just going to keep going like this. And that is all you do with your double points. Double pointed needles really are not difficult. As you can see, I'm only using these two to knit with. That's it. These are the only things in motion. The other two are just holding the stitches, waiting for me to get there. So honestly, that's all there is to double pointed needles. You don't need to be afraid of them. You just need to learn how to work with them so that you're not constantly losing your needles and having them stitches fall off of them. That's why I like the bamboo. These are a brand called Chia Goo, or no wait, these are the clover ones. I have a Chia Goo as well, which I really like, and they're very inexpensive for bamboo needles. You usually have to get those at your local yarn store. These you can get anywhere. They're by Clover and they're called Takumi. And I also like these, but I only buy these if they are on sale or clearance, or if I have a coupon for Joann's or Michael's for them, because they are much more expensive. The Chia Goo range in price depending on the size of the double points you're getting, but for the most part they are always going to be less expensive than the clover unless you have a coupon. So it's just something to keep in mind. Obviously, the larger your needles, the more expensive they'll be, and you can get them up to a size, I want to say a 17 or a 19 in double points now. So if you really want to play with some chunky yarn, then I would suggest going out and getting those. I have another hat in progress right now on a size, I think they're 15s. They're 13 or 15, so, and it's a much chunkier yarn, which works up faster and you don't need as many stitches. I think I only put 48 stitches, and it's going to fit a head size between 19 and 22. So, yeah. So there you go. This is day 10 of my 12 days of Christmas. I hope you'll go and try making a hat. I can finish this up and show you how to do the rest of it. I can just put the notes. This is all from the top of my head. I'm not using an actual pattern or anything. But if you need a pattern, there are hundreds, maybe even thousands out on the internet. You can go to lionbrandyarn.com. No, I'm not sponsored by them. I just like to go there and look at their patterns. You can also go to Red Heart Yarn, Bernat. All the yarn companies have free, free knitting and crochet patterns. There's Garn Studio, there's Barocco. Let's see, I'm trying to think of what the other, places like allfreeknitting.com, allfreecrochet.com. Another really great blogger is Moogly, Moogly, and Little Monkey. I have found many free patterns online, and Bonita, I think that's just crochet, but there are great places out there on the internet where you can find free ones, and a lot of times on Ravelry.com you can find good free patterns. I've been making hats and scarves and such for so long that I kind of have the base measurements memorized, and so I can kind of make it as I go at this point. I started knitting when I was 8 years old, and my grandma taught me how to crochet and knit. So yeah. So that's the basics. You can see that it's going to work up really quickly at this point, and that's how you use double pointed needles. So this is my helpful how-to video for my day 10 of my 12 days of Christmas, how to use double pointed knitting needles to make a quick hat for the holidays. Thanks for watching. I hope you'll come back soon.